let's assume that you now have a requirement to create 2 virtual machines and an SQL database. Now, I'm talking about a 2-tier design with a front end and a back end. The front end is a web server and the back end is the database. Now, I will have the 2 virtual machines behind the load balancer, and that will then get connected to the database in the background. I've chosen to have a platform as a service database. Now, before we go ahead and start provisioning the resources in Azure, the management wants to know what is the cost or what is the estimated cost. For that, I will just navigate to the Azure pricing calculator and then find out the resources that I want to host. Azure pricing calculator has an array of services that Azure provides as on today. You will find compute, networking, storage, databases, and all the offerings that Azure is providing. Now, in my case, the requirement is to host virtual machines and databases, so I'll just click on them. Let's click on virtual machine first, and then we'll click on the databases. Okay, looks like the virtual machine is added. I'll then click on the database. The virtual machine also needs to have certain storage, so I'll click on storage accounts. Now that's done, you can scroll down slowly to the bottom. All the options that you've clicked above will now be visible in the bottom. Now, I want to host the resources, let's say in East US. So you'll find East US in this drop-down menu. There you go. The kind of operating system that I want to select is Linux, because you probably may want to have an Apache web server, and ideally CentOS. Okay, standard tier is alright. At this point, I will do the capacity planning and make sure that I'm not provisioning CPU or memory intensive servers. So I'll start small because you can always auto scale. So I'll start with 1 CPU and 3.5 gigs of memory. That's good so far. Now you can either go for pay as you go, 1 year reserved or 3-year reserved. The longer you commit for, the more savings you will see. The total number of virtual machines, as per our discussion when we started, said that we're going to have 2 virtual machines behind the load balancer. So, oops, it just popped up. Okay. So, and it will be running for 730 hours, which is technically 1 month. What are you paying for this? $106 approximately. Okay. How about having certain disks? You want to attach certain disks? Well, I'll go for a premium disk and 2 disks each. So how much are you paying for the disks now? About 66 cents. Keep in mind that you can size the disk by selecting the options that you have in the drop-down menu, but I'll leave it as default at this time. Also notice additional options you may have on the right or left. In this case, specifically in the disks, if you want to add a snapshot, you can toggle between on and off here. SQL database, I'll keep it in the same region. Would you like to have that as a managed instance? Select the backup storage tier, service tier, generation, and instance. I'm leaving all of these options as default because we just want to get experience on identifying the costs. At this point, the database cost is about $1,500. Okay, so what is the total cost? Let's scroll down, read it to the bottom. You will see the storage costs. You will see the cumulative cost of all the resources that you have selected. It's about $1,600. You can also export this as an Excel sheet or share directly to your email address. Azure Calculator. Azure Calculator is an excellent tool to help you find the total cost of ownership even before you provision the resources. So you do not have to get your first bill to know how much will it cost. You can go to the estimations and find that out by yourself.